The social media platform TikTok appears to have came out of nowhere and reached unbelievable success very suddenly. When you think of TikTok, you may think of simple, funny and short videos. And with the platform already amassing 2 billion plus downloads, you may be wondering, what is the problem with TikTok? Well, you may be surprised to learn of the unbelievable damage which TikTok is doing to all of our minds. If you are a TikTok user, you're going to want to watch this video all the way until the end, as this video is centered around how TikTok is destroying a generation. Whilst TikTok is a new name, the concept and even the business is something that we have seen before. Originally created in 2016, the platform that we all know today as TikTok was formerly known as Musical.ly. The concept was exactly the same, but the app simply had a different name. It was doing quite well at the time. It reached 200 million users by May of 2017, by no means close to TikTok's current success, but still not bad by any means. But things really started to change in November of 2017, when ByteDance Limited acquired Musical.ly, later deciding to merge the app under a new name, TikTok. And from there, ads for the platform were pushed heavily as part of a marketing campaign, and as of early 2022, the app saw 1 billion daily users for the first time. But what's the problem with everybody using the app then? Well, TikTok is centered around short-form content. Videos often range between 15 and 60 seconds at a time, and mainly focus on comedy-style content. And whilst other niches are available on TikTok, inevitably it's going to be harder to make finance or vlog style videos in a 9:16 aspect ratio in under 60 seconds. So to summarize quickly, TikTok really is unlike any sort of social media platform we have seen before. YouTube focuses on long form videos and Instagram focuses on short scrollable photos. But TikTok takes the best features of both worlds and incorporates this into one app. And whilst it sounds very entertaining, this is worse for our minds than we could ever imagine. Now, one of the worst problems that we have with TikTok is the effect it has on the mind. The problem is that the content is simply so bingeable. You can watch one and then another, and before you know it, hours have gone by. This is not my opinion, but something which is backed up by data, as data shows that kids in the USA spend on average 87 minutes per day on the platform. Now please keep that 87-minute figure in mind, because we're going to need that later. Now the problem with ultra short form content is that it is proven to decrease our attention spans in general. Now whilst this is obvious, the science indicates that the worst effects of this arise in users who spend more than 90 minutes per day. Now as we already mentioned, kids spend a lot of time on TikTok, and the majority of TikTok's users are under the age of 24. This is a period where the brain is still under development. Now again, kids are being left to sustain the maximum level of damage, as the maximum level occurs at 90 minutes per day, and kids spend around 90 minutes per day on average. This is literally altering the minds of our children forever. But attention span is not the only way that TikTok influences user thinking though, as TikTok has a profound reach, and the things that we see on the platform subconsciously alter our opinions and beliefs. This has affected our adult population as well, with morons doing unbelievable things for views. But as bad as this is, it isn't really the adults that we should be focused on. It's the kids. We can't expect our kids to fully know right from wrong. They simply don't have enough life experience, and we all made stupid decisions as children. But the problem which is happening in this generation is the stupid decisions are much worse. It's not a case of kids wanting to play where they're not allowed in the street. TikTok invites all sorts of weirdos into the home, virtually telling our children to do more and more dangerous things. To best highlight this, let's have a look at some of the worst TikTok challenges from the past couple of years. Now remember, these are trends which our kids are being encouraged to do. Now popular trends on the platform include putting pennies into plugs, which can be fatal. The blackout challenge, again, could easily kill you. The milk crate challenge, which could lead to many broken bones. And there are other trends revolving around taking excess medicine and eating poisonous foods. Now, when I was researching this part of the video, I thought it would be easy to include lots of trends, but actually after learning how graphic many of them are, I don't want to include them in this video. You can research further if you wish. But just remember, this is what our kids are seeing on TikTok. So TikTok really is a threat, causing adults to waste their life scrolling and facilitating our children to actually lose their lives in stupid ways that they would have never thought of alone. But this is not the only problem with TikTok. Arguably, it isn't even the worst. The main problem with TikTok is that it is built this way by design. Because there is one thing that TikTok really does not want you to know, and that revolves around where TikTok is actually from, and why this matters so very much. Now, like we said at the beginning, TikTok was bought out. It is now owned by a Chinese company, and there is no secret that China has some pretty ambitious plans for their global status. But people really are not stupid enough to fall for outright propaganda, so why not go for a completely new method? It's almost as if TikTok was created with the aim of sending disunity, stupidity, and false levels of confidence through our Western people. And this appears to have worked a dream, as the TikTok generation appears to be getting dumber and dumber and dumber. Now obviously, we cannot confirm that the Chinese government set out with bad intentions, but it certainly looks that way. Now just to play devil's advocate for a minute here, let's have a look at what China would say. They would probably argue that TikTok is actually intended to spread educational messages, and to limit other kinds of content would simply be against freedom of speech. As a matter of fact, countless ads for TikTok even show the educational value of the app. But there's one fundamental flaw with this argument. The thing is that TikTok is indeed a highly educational app, but not here. Just go and have a look at the disparity between content on the Chinese TikTok platform compared to that of other countries. In China, engineering and maths content is pushed very heavily, whereas across the globe in other countries, there is a preponderance of twerking, challenges, and other dumbness which we are being exposed to. So obviously TikTok's algorithm does have the potential to push useful content, it just doesn't want to. Now take a moment to actually have a look and see how significant this truly is. TikTok is made this way by design. But content is not the only cause for concern regarding China. As billions of users are on the platform every single day, there is a heck of a lot of crucial data which passes through the platform. It says a lot about us, both individually but also collectively as a people. And there is something which we should be very worried about, as this data can be very valuable to China. And this is where the real concern of world leaders should be. And indeed, world leaders are starting to realise this. For instance, on the 3rd of August of 2022, the UK Parliament decided to shut down their TikTok account over concerns about data breaches and safety. And whilst data is more valuable than gold, it's not just our government that should be concerned. It's also the individual. It's also you. Despite these concerns, TikTok appears to be showing no signs of slowing its growth. Try and use any mobile app, watch any YouTube video, scroll any newsfeed. TikTok ads are absolutely everywhere, imploring you to download. And this is the problem with TikTok. Next time one of their ads comes on, I encourage you to watch it all the way through. You will see a completely innocent video. It may indeed include maths and factual content, or something simply funny and interesting. But that is the problem with TikTok. It works as a trap. This content lures you in, but before long you are scrolling, wondering how you even got there, watching longer and longer and spinning into that toxic spiral even further. And that is why people cannot leave the platform. It really is addictive. It physically changes the very thought process inside of our heads. And this is how TikTok is destroying a generation. But just because it's the kids that we should be most concerned about, doesn't mean that we should exclusively be concerned about the kids. Worry about yourself too, as if you use TikTok, you are falling into the trap and need to be very, very careful. And whilst most of the dreadful effects of TikTok will inevitably manifest themselves in our next generation and our current youth, TikTok is still influencing you. TikTok is something which our Western leaders should be very concerned about. But if they won't take action, maybe you should.